Well, good morning. It's Monday. It's the Monday before All Saints Sunday. And we have a chance to look at the various scriptures this week because, as well as a regular week in the lectionary, it's also All Saints Week. With all the stuff that's been going on in the world, it seems like it is good to kind of slow down, settle down, and remember the saints. And we will do that this weekend. So if you have loved ones that went to be with the Lord since November the 1st of last year, if you would email me or email me would be good so we can mention their names as we worship on Saturday and Sunday. My email is just my name, Jack Womack, no dots or spaces, at att.net. Or you can send it to pastor@hopecommunityumc.org, or you can send it to Pasadena Hope at AT&T, not AT&T, att.net. So today I want to read from Matthew. We've been following Matthew along. The Sadducees were silenced, and then the Pharisees were silenced, and now there's another story to go right following that. This is in chapter 23. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. Therefore, do whatever they teach you and follow it. But do not do as they do, for they do not practice what they teach. They tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on the shoulders of others. But they themselves are unwilling to lift a finger to move them. They do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long. And they love to have the place of honor at banquets and the best seats in the synagogues, and to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces, and to have people call them rabbi. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all students. And call no one your father on earth, for you have one Father, the one in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. All who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all who humble themselves will be exalted." That last verse, all who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all those who humble themselves will be exalted. You see, therein lies the challenge, because there is a fine line between humility and pride. And I think that's what this whole thing is talking about here. I love I would just modernize it totally and say, the church leaders, and who are those? Well, take your pick. Some of them are our Methodist leaders, some of them are Methodist preachers, some of them are Sunday school teachers. And what Jesus says, they have knowledge, so do what they teach you, but be careful and not to do what they do, because they don't practice what they teach. Yeah, have we seen that before? I mean, let's see, Tammy Faye Baker, Jimmy Swaggart. We've seen people do that, haven't we? They teach the right message, but they don't practice what they teach. And then there are those religious persons that make it such a burden. It's hard to bear to be Christian. They make you have to have a painful face to live through this time. They make it hard like that, but then they go elsewhere. I remember years ago when I was living in Beaumont, and I was in the farm equipment business, and there was one of the unions was on strike, and so people were coming in and asking us to delay their payments and so forth, so that they didn't lose their equipment. And And I was young and not very knowledgeable about that kind of stuff. Didn't grow up in a union family, and so the the union guys are in there. Said, man, I hope we stay on strike forever. We got to teach these people. We got to teach them. And then on the news, the president of the union was skiing in Aspen, and I'm thinking, whoa, these people I know are suffering, and the leader is off skiing in Aspen. There's something about that. They put up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on the shoulders of others, but they themselves were unwilling to lift a finger to move them. And there are plenty of people that do good Christian duty so they can be seen by others. And it is a challenge to do it and have people know about it, because it's important for it to be seen, but not to be bragged about. And then, of course, there are those that decide that, I remember a person that I knew had made a vow before God never to go to movies. So this person didn't go to the movie, but the person would rent them on VHSs and watch them at home. It's what you do in public, see, that makes it look like you're something different than what you are in private. And there are plenty of people, I know lots of them, that just love to be known as the person in charge. So you see, what it comes down to at the end is that first of all, it says the greatest among you will be your servant. So what that means is those who think they're great are going to ultimately serve. And those who exalt themselves will be pushed down. And those who humble themselves will be exalted. I think it's interesting to look through that passage and think about it. I'll have to spend some time on it today, and I hope you will too. In what ways have I done or am I doing any of those things? I wear a cross around my neck. It's a Methodist cross. It has the flame and cross. The two flames represent the two bodies that Evangelical United Brethren, when they joined together with the Methodist Episcopal Church, it became the United Methodist Church. Of course, the cross is the cross that Christ, we represent the empty cross, the risen Christ. A lot of people have, fish on their cars, and some other people have, signs in their front yard. And so when are we exalting? When are we humble? Which is which? And how do we serve the King of Kings? Well, those are the challenges. And it, as I talked to one of our flock yesterday, this loving your neighbor thing, it's not easy either. And especially those neighbors that do exalt themselves, that do brag, that want to be seen in the public space, that make everybody think they're so great. That person that always acts like they're doing the good, and maybe they do most of the time, but it's what you do in the dark that counts. It's what you do when nobody's looking. So I think it's one of the things I learned at Alcoholics Anonymous was, if you lie to yourself, you lie to anybody. So what are you telling yourself today about these things, about humility, about service, about God, about your relationship with Jesus Christ? Let's pray. Gracious God, oh God, our help in ages past, our hope for times to come. Help us. Guide us. Instruct us. Lead us. So that we can be faithful. So that we can be humble. So that we can be servants of the living God. Amen. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic Monday.